To continue with our show, as we promised, we are going to continue tackling the positive reactions and the result of the recognition of a Palestinian state by a number of countries, something which took place in the UN General Assembly meetings in New York, and it reflects the diplomatic efforts exerted and the contacts with these countries to take this step on the ground and to continue with that in a trial or in an attempt to end the Israeli genocide war, and to say that the two-state solution is the only way to peace to be restored in the Middle East and to end the chaotic situation in this region. To shed more light on this issue, we are very much delighted to have with us Dr. Mohamed Talaat, Professor of International Law. Thank you very much for being with us, Dr. Talaat, and a very good morning.
Good morning to you.
Dr. Talaat, how do you see the importance or the significance of this move, the recognition of a Palestinian state, and even to say that there is going to be diplomatic ties or diplomatic presence from these countries in the Palestinian territories, something which was declared or announced in front of the whole world in the UN General Assembly meetings in New York just a few weeks ago?
This is an extremely landmark move on the part of the countries that have recognized Israel. For more than one reason. These countries for so many years have been reluctant to recognize Palestine. So now that they have made this move is a positive sign, definitely. But one very important factor of all of this is the United Kingdom, because Britain was the cause of having Israel in the region, as we all know, as a result of the Balfour Declaration. So the mere fact that Britain itself has decided to recognize Palestine, this is a profound move on the part of the United Kingdom, and it is definitely will have an impact, particularly that, as you know, the ties between the United Kingdom and the United States is quite strong, and they do have very open relationship, and they share positions and information. So I personally make a lot of emphasis not only on recognizing Palestine, but on the fact that Britain itself has recognized Palestine. Yeah. Now, by default, of course, that once you recognize a country, then there is diplomatic ties, because this is a default of the recognition of another country. So there will be definitely ties between these countries and between Palestine.
Also, sir, and as the whole world knew, that there are warrants against Benjamin Netanyahu issued by the ICC, and there are countries like Slovenia, for example, which said that if Netanyahu is going to visit Slovenia or to be on its land, he is going to be arrested. And many countries followed suit. How do you see this also as, let's say, a scream or a cry from the international community that they are not going only to recognize a Palestinian state, but to recognize Benjamin Netanyahu as a war criminal?
Now, the countries that have recognized Palestine are way more than the countries that have not recognized Palestine. So even if there are certain few countries in the world that have declined to recognize Palestine, then this is up to them. It will not affect the mere fact of the recognition. Now, of course, there is a warrant against the Prime Minister of Israel. Many countries have taken this into consideration, and many countries have flagged the fact that if he sets a foot on the land of these countries, then the warrant will be invoked. Of course, the problem is that the international ties, unfortunately, are being driven by strength and by the strong countries in the world. So it is not easy to enforce judgments or warrants being made against politicians of another state unless there is a cooperation. some of the countries are unwilling, or they're not willing to cooperate in this respect, and they are not willing to invoke the warrant that's being rendered by the criminal court. It is unfortunate, but it is definitely a sign depicting him as a criminal figure at the end of the day, even though it is not being invoked. Yeah.
Sir, many political experts are saying that Benjamin Netanyahu does not want to end the Israeli genocide war in Gaza because this is going to lead him to jail, whether for being a criminal by the ICC, saying that he is a war criminal and he committed, and of course his military forces committed, thousands of crimes against humanity during the past 2 years, in specific against the civilians, and in addition to the corruption charged against him from inside Israel. Because of that, he does not want to end the Israeli genocide war. In your opinion, this can be the excuse, or this can be the real cause of Benjamin Netanyahu not to put an end to the arrogant attacks or the arrogant, barbaric Israeli war in the Palestinian territories?
It is definitely one of the fundamental driven reasons that he does not want to end the war. Now, of course, we cannot say that this is the only reason, but it is one of the reasons, fundamental reasons, of course. And we are all led to believe that if this war comes to an end, then the political role of him will come to an end as well. And accordingly, he is trying to thrive on the continuation of the war. Now, he's being cornered as a result of the acceptance that Hamas announced 2 days ago. So let's see how this will come into effect, particularly that the Egyptian government is hosting discussions, bilateral discussions, I believe in today, I guess, or tomorrow, as a matter of fact, on Monday, between the different factions, in order to reach a settlement on this issue. So he would not be, as we say, he is in a pickle, meaning that he has to justify himself before the entire world if he again declines to end this war after, as I said, the announcement that has been made by Hamas accepting to release the hostages.
Yeah, and simply, since you mentioned that, sir, the plan of the American president said that in 72 hours Hamas should release all of the captives, and the disarmament of Hamas is also a very controversial point. And many analysts are saying that this point in specific can be the main obstacle on the way. And because of that, Trump himself said that he is not going to tolerate any delay of implementing the deal. How do you see those visions, sir? And how do you see the importance of the mediating efforts to try to eliminate these obstacles and to reach a comprehensive ceasefire?
Let me first hit on the issue that he will not tolerate and that he will intolerate and so forth. He has been saying this for the last year, ever since he has assumed power. Every now and then we hear that he will not tolerate this and he will not tolerate that. It's not a matter of tolerance, or he is not in his hands entirely. Procedures and formalities have to take place in order to reach a proper arrangement for the best interests of Gaza and the Palestinian people. Now, Hamas 2 days ago has already indicated they are more than willing to release the hostages, provided, of course, certain measures are being taken or must be put in place, particularly with respect to the management of Gaza post-war. I am rather optimistic that the mediation efforts being made by different countries and led by our esteemed government in Egypt that this would most likely reach a good step in the settlement of the issue, if not settling the issue completely in the discussions that will take place tomorrow and the days after. Let's wait and see, but yeah, there are good signs being indicated and being flagged, and most likely, in my opinion, there are good chances that the settlement could be reached and we end this war that the Gazian people
to end it once and for all. Yes, Dr. Talaat.
Let's hope so.
Yeah, we all hope so. Dr. Talaat, there are other views or other visions regarding the current situation, saying that the Israelis are really in a very difficult situation, because if the two-state solution is going to be repeated by senior state officials from Western powers, and the Israeli genocide war is stopped according to the Trump plan, the Palestinians and the Lebanese are going to find a new hope to remind the international community of other war crimes which were committed by Israel in the past 80 years. So we are going to have the Israelis accountable for Sabra and Shatila, for Qana, for Al-Haram al-Ibrahimi, Al-Khalil's massacre, and to make sure that all these massacres are not going to go in vain just like that. No, this is going to be a series of files to be introduced or presented against the Israelis. How do you see this as one of the options?
Let me just clarify or uncover that whether Israel likes it or not, there is a shift in the international perception towards Israel. And Trump himself said this more than once, that the continuation of this war is affecting Israel negatively. If not by the governments, by the people, definitely in most of the Western, if not all, in all Western countries that have been very much biased towards Israel. Now they are taking a different position, and they have discovered that they are criminals at the end of the day, and they have been mistreating Palestinians for so many years. Now, whether this would affect the other crimes that have been committed over the years, of course, there is an opportunity to address all these issues, but as I previously said, international ties depend very much on the positions of the countries, and particularly the strong countries, whether we like it or not. International law is not as black and white as people would think. It is very much driven by the attitude and by the perception of the leading countries in the world. So to the extent that they are willing to cooperate in this respect, there might be an opportunity, even though that you could resort to international fora like the Court of Criminal Court or International Criminal Court or otherwise. It's not easy to implement all of this. You could get judgments or rulings from the court, but the enforcement of it is contingent upon the position of and the willingness of the leading countries. So while in theory you can do it, in reality it might take a bit of a time.
Dr. Mohamed Talaat, Professor of International Law, thank you very much for your input, sir, and have a very good day. Right after the short break, we are going to return back with more, so stay tuned.